It's your daily dose of Maple Sumo. Welcome back to day 3 of Maple Sumo's Haru Basho coverage. Today I've got my Ura shirt on for the fans out there, and he's so far undefeated, so let's get into it. Starting with our Kyujo announcements, as we suspected, Abi has pulled out with a lower back injury. Ichi Yamamoto appears to be the angel of death for this tournament, so we'll see what happens in the coming days, but that's 2 for 2 on guys he's fought pulling out the next day. Starting things off, we have Fujiryoga versus Kodo-Eho, both men coming out 1-1. Fujiryoga is normally a big pusher thruster, but got tied up here off the Tachiai, but he managed to make a turn at the bales and push Kodo-Eho down to go up 2-1. Asa, I'm going to botch this pronunciation, Asa Suiryu, who's the younger brother of Asa Koryu, came up from Juryo to fight Kin Bozan. Both started the day 1-1. He is smaller than his brother, but seems quicker. He leapt in fast, but was a little frantic, got a bit slapped around, and then thrown down to the clay. So he'll go back with a loss on that one, and Kin Bozan's now 2-1. Asa Hakuryu took on unbeaten Nishiki Fuji. Nishiki Fuji seems to be nursing some injuries. You'll see he's got all the cupping marks all over his back right now. He had initially a great position against him off the hop, but that got sort of taken away and he was forced back and out at the ropes there. So now both men are at 2-1. Chiyoshoma took on Mitakeumi, who has 2 wins in a row now. Chiyoshoma got a good little outside grip and just spun them both like a top and then just kind of dumped Mitakeumi out there. So both men are now at 2-1. Tobizaru went up against Asanoyama. Now, Asanoyama has not lost to Tobizaru at this point, but this looked to be 100% the same result again. Asa was in complete control. Toby, putting up a good fight, but not really able to do much with the size difference between the two guys. But right at the edge, Toby, managed to stay just in the fight long enough that Asa actually stepped out before pushing out Toby. So Toby gets the win, finally. He breaks his defeat streak against Asa, but he doesn't have a winning technique for this. It's actually credited as a losing technique by Asanoyama. So it's kind of a disappointing way to get your first win against a guy, but both men are now 1-2. Asa Koryu took on Fujiseun. Asa Koryu came in undefeated, but gave up his first loss. He let Fujiseun get in and somehow under him despite being taller, and he was quickly forced out. But that means Fujiseun and his stablemate Fujiryoga are now both 2-1 in their first tournament. Oshoumi against Roga. Oshoumi fought back really well from the bales. He was pushed right to the edge, fought back. There was a throw, I think 2 throw attempts by Roga that he managed to counter, but finally with the 2 of them wrapped up, Roga managed to slip in a little leg trip and dumped him down. So it was a great match to watch, but a disappointing third loss for Oshoumi. He doesn't look like a man who's 0-3 right now, but unfortunately that's just the way these things have turned out. Gonoyama went up against Shishi. Shishi has been looking good this tournament, but he had just a odd, kind of too tightly balled stance off the line. And as soon as they went, he didn't even really get off the line at all. His feet didn't move, and Gonoyama was already into him. He had his hands up and his head down, but he just got sort of rumbled backwards quickly to keep Gonoyama with 3 straight victories. So just a unfortunate setup. He put himself in a position for failure. I don't know if Shishi understands fully how to get his hips down. He seems to do a lot of this weird tucked tachiai thing that as a former football player, I know you're not going to generate any power off the hop with that. Especially if you get caught with a guy who can blast off the line as fast as Gonoyama can. Next was Iron Man Tamawashi versus Shodai. So this was Tamawashi's 1,470th bout today, which tied him for the lead for most consecutive bouts. Tomorrow, he will be the sole leader. Today, unfortunately, he had a really soft Tachi-ai that Shodai was able to easily absorb and then counter with a throat attack and push him out quickly. He is unfortunately still winless. Shodai goes to 2-1. I hope tomorrow Tamawashi can get a win for his 1,471st fight. I think that'd be a great way to sort of cross that border into the all-time leader for consecutive fights. Next up, our boy Ura puts his undefeated streak against Toki Hayate. Ura was a little slower off the line, but it was a kind of frantic fight. He just managed to stay sort of centered and stable against Toki Hayate's moves, and eventually, in all the frantic sort of recalibrating, Toki Hayate slipped while trying to sort of back and reposition, and he was able to just add a little bit of extra momentum to him, slap him down, and stay 3-0. So great start for our boy Ura. And then two undefeated people, Ichi Yamamoto, our Grim Reaper so far, and Koto Shoho came together. Man, that Tachi-ai sounded painful. The two heads clunking, you could hear through the entire arena. But Koto Shoho managed to keep his wits about him, pull the front of the belt forward, and bring Ichi Yamamoto down. So that ties up their lifetime records against each other at 6-6. So Koto Shoho maintains his share of the lead, and Ichi Yamamoto drops to 2-1. Oshoma got the free Fusensho win over Abi, so he's now 2-1. Abi 0-3. I don't know if he's coming back this tournament. It looks like he might just be better served taking the rest of it off to get that back fully healed. When it comes to lower back pain, especially in I don't want to say older, but more mature wrestlers like Abi that have been around for a while, some of that stuff can be really debilitating, and it doesn't seem to serve much purpose if you're going to be down that many. If let's say he takes 3 days off to come back and try to win 8 in a row or something to have a Kachikoshi just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, yeah, maybe he can come back in the last couple days just to try to get a couple of wins and save a couple of ranks. But he's high enough. He's not in fear of dropping out of Makuuchi or anything like that. So to me, it would make more sense to just fully rest up and come back in lower next tournament. But that'll also help with being up against easier competition to start off the tournament and ease himself back into it once he's recovered. But we'll see what happens. It's always a mystery to me how they decide when they're going to come back after injury. Next, Daisho and Oho were both trying to find their first wins today. You'll remember that Oho has not been able to get a win since the last tournament. I think it was on an 8 or 9 loss streak. But these guys came in. They both former Sanyaku, both equally 4-4 against each other. Oho managed to stay tight off the Tachi-ai against Daisho, who just could not get his pushing thrusting started, and then managed to barrel him out of position and get his own thrust going to push him out and snap his losing streak. So that's got to be great for the mentals for him, and hopefully sign of things to come in the future with a stable, strong Oho. Daisho, he has not looked as bad in his losses as Oho has at the start of this tournament, so I don't know if he's going to be able to rally and pull off a winning record this tournament, but he does look to be, at least able to. I'm hoping for maybe a 6-9 or a 7-8 for him, but I guess that's in his hands. Undefeated Hirado Umi and Takanosho met for the 9th time in their careers. A huge hit from Takanosho off the Tachi-ai that he quickly converted to a quick pull down to stay undefeated. And now in their heads up record, he is 4-5 against Hirado Umi. So unfortunate for the Kissy boy, but yeah, sometimes you just got to take your losses. Wakamoto Haru tried to find his first win against unblemished Takayasu, who also holds the lead in their head-to-head matches, 10-3, and that 3 includes a Fusensho win. So really, this guy is 10-2 against him. And Takayasu did exactly what he's supposed to. He kept him tight to the bales before finally just a quick little pull in, get him off balance. Size disparity notwithstanding, the experience that Takayasu has, and he looks strong and healthy in a way that he hasn't for a few tournaments. So I'm not going to say anything right now, but we'll just say hope springs eternal for Papayasu. And then Kirishima and Atami Fuji come in with their 1-1 records. Now, Atami Fuji had a great initial hard hit, but Kirishima got a hand in. He had the outer left hand. Now, normally he likes an inner, but he locked in early. He pulled hard and got a good-looking attempt at a Nuwatanage that didn't work. Atami Fuji just able to use his body and footwork to stay stable, and then he looked to turn his physical advantage in size to a thrust, to a force out, but on the back foot, Kirishima does a lightning fast readjust from outside inside, and then right at the bales makes a turn to get the beltless arm throw, like up under the armpit, flips him over. Just another beautiful throw from him. And he stays at 2-1 now. I've said it before, Kirishima is one of the absolute best wrestlers in the game right now, and he's looking in top form. And just that, the ability to react and adjust in that fight was awesome. Chirana Umi came in against Kotozakura. Chirana Umi stayed low and thrust hard and was chasing him around the ring, but Kotozakura couldn't get a hold on him, so he just... I don't know where it came from. He just let Chirana Umi get a little bit overextended and shot a hand under the armpit and straight up flipped him over onto the clay. It was a perfect little toss. It just executed in a snap, and he stays at a perfect 3-0. So Kotozakura looking very strong right now. Aonishiki, our boy on a Yokozuna run, came up against Wakataka Kage. Unfortunately, he had that loss yesterday, but Aonishiki is a guy who, since joining the Sanyaku, has never lost 2 in a row. And that's what happened today. He's absolutely stonewalled Wakataka Kage's Tachiai, and then just threw some slaps and marched him straight out. Aonishiki has an incredibly strong lower body. Just an absolute brick wall. If he decides he's not moving, and then he just marches him out. So good to see the boy recover after that loss, not let it get to him. He's 2-1 now. Our second last bout of the day, Fujinokawa, the youngster at Maegashira 2, up at Onosato. Both have yet to find a win this tournament. Obviously, Fujinokawa is fighting at the highest rank of his career. These are going to be the toughest fights he's had to start a tournament. He had an initial throat attack straight at Onosato, and it's very clear that Onosato just refuses to use like the left part of his upper body, like his shoulders out of commission. And he tried to just sort of charge forward with the one hand strong, and unfortunately having that arm out there let Fujinokawa pivot to the side a little bit and yank and drop him down to pick up his first Kinboshi. Onosato looked furious and injured, and it's kind of hard to say what's going on, whether it's just the strength of the injury or the recovery from the injury plus like the lack of being able to properly prepare for this tournament because of that. He's mad, his coach is mad. As a Yokozuna, he should not be 0-3. I would not be surprised to see him pull out tomorrow and just sort of like say, you know what, I need the recovery time. He's got that privilege as a Yokozuna, but also part of me in his face is like he's not dropping until he can get a win on his own terms. So we'll see. I don't like seeing him lose over and over, and I don't think the JSA likes it. I know they don't want to like... There'll be a perception if he pulls out that like if Aonishiki manages to make Yokozuna that he didn't have to go through the other Yokozuna to do it. Hoshoryu's looking like actual competition. Onosato's not. He's just not. So I don't think it helps the case at all to have a beat up, injured, losing Yokozuna sort of half-heartedly in the way of Aonishiki. Speaking of Yokozuna, final bout of the day, Hoshoryu versus Yoshino Fuji. Now, Yoshino Fuji got deep off the charge with a deep grip right at the rear of the belt. Actually managed to get 2 hands in there, but he got so deep that it feels like he didn't know what to do with it. And Hoshoryu just sort of like squat and used his firm stance and balance and just pulled this weird little headlock arm throw, and you just watched Yoshinofuji sort of slide down his leg looking kind of bewildered. Even at the end of it, Hoshoryu had this look on his face that just kind of said, what the hell was that? But obviously he'll take the win. I mean, to stay 3-0 and part of the lead pack, that's what you got to be as a Yokozuna. So you take the wins as you can get them, not as you want them. So that's fine for him. Anyways, we'll see you tomorrow for day 4. Have a great one.